This morning, biggest flood in a century. Far north Queensland inundated with record rainfall in the wake of Cyclone Jasper. An alarming start to the holiday road toll, the warning for drivers ahead of Christmas. A desperate scramble for much-needed aid as hunger in Gaza spirals out of control. And the last of the country's school leavers brace for the release of their ATAR results.
This is 7 News with Jody Spears.
Good morning. Welcome to 7 News. Far north Queensland is being hit by its biggest flood event in more than 100 years as floodwaters continue to rise in the wake of Cyclone Jasper. Water levels are expected to break 1977 records in the north as more than 10,000 people continue to be without power. Cairns residents have been urged to conserve water, with warnings the city only has a few hours of clean water supply left. Cairns Airport has also been closed indefinitely due to floodwaters. Queenslanders are advised to remain vigilant and stay up to date with evolving warnings. Drivers across the country are being urged to remain vigilant on our roads as police warn of a horror ending to 2023. It comes as 10 people died on New South Wales roads over the weekend. Premier Chris Minns now facing increased pressure after a massive decline in random breath tests. And police are investigating after a 2-year-old was struck and killed by a car while waiting to cross the road in Melbourne's east. New figures out this morning have laid bare the worsening road toll, with South Australia having the highest increase in fatalities over the past year. They're up by 61%. An elderly man has escaped injury after crashing into a newly completed house in Sydney's northwest. Emergency services were called to Ryde, where they found the car had ploughed into the garage after hitting multiple parked vehicles. The 84-year-old driver was checked over by paramedics. He left with family and the vehicle was towed away. The house was unoccupied at the time. It sustained significant damage. A leading think tank has slammed the government for saying it wouldn't fight to keep a convicted terrorist behind bars. Abdul Benbrika, who plotted to blow up the MCG, is set to be released before Christmas as his detention order expires on Saturday. Instead of seeking to extend his detention, the government has applied for Benbrika to be freed on a 3-year extended supervision order. But the head of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute says it's highly unlikely he has reformed, calling for the government to explain its decision to allay public concerns. Starving civilians in Gaza are stopping aid trucks as soon as they cross the border from Egypt amid severe food shortages. Let's go live to Jacqueline Robson in the US. Good morning, Jacqueline. The situation is becoming increasingly desperate.
Jody, it's a troubling development. People in the Rafah region in Gaza's south near the Egyptian border have started swarming trucks, helping themselves to whatever food they can find in these aid deliveries. More than 1 million people in that area are also displaced, looking for shelter as winter starts to bear down. Now, the UN World Food Programme has confirmed that half of all Gazans are starving, with no idea where the next meal is coming from, and are growing increasingly desperate and hungry. In the past hour or so, Israel has now agreed to allow UN trucks to drive directly into Gaza from Kerem Shalom crossing for the first time since the war began. The United States is now sending its second top Biden administration official to Israel. Defence Secretary Lloyd Austin will push the country to drill down on what metrics are being used to move this war into the next phase. Last week, the President's National Security Advisor was there to urge Israel to transition into a more precise, targeted campaign. And of course, this happened as 3 hostages were accidentally shot by the military, which is only angering this situation even more. Jody?
OK, Jacqueline Robson in the US, thank you. A crime scene has been set up on Rottnest Island as police investigate an assault. It's understood the alleged victim is a 15-year-old girl who says she was attacked inside the island's toilet block that has been sealed off. The extent of her injuries isn't clear. Another teenager is assisting police with their inquiries as forensic officers travel to Rottnest to gather evidence. Melbourne families travelling over the Christmas break have been dealt a major blow as the cost of petrol soars. The city is now in its third day of a new price cycle, with around 15% of stations already putting their prices up. They're expected to hit an average high of $2.15 and peak at $2.19. But there's a huge difference between the most expensive and the cheapest servos, with drivers urged to shop around to get the best deal. A nervous wait this morning for thousands of students in South Australia and the Northern Territory who will receive their ATAR results. It comes after WA school leavers received their results early yesterday, 17 teenagers achieving a perfect score of 99.95. A stranger has made this Christmas one to remember for customers of a Melbourne toy store. A young woman came in as the store was closing and paid off the lay-bys of dozens of families.
Sundays at work don't get much better than this.
Your lay-by has been completely paid off.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
Store manager Nicole is telling customers $8,500 of their lay-bys were paid by a stranger.
Oh, really?
Yep, completely paid off.
That's amazing.
A random act of kindness 1 week from Christmas, good karma of the highest order.
Thought that she might give us a couple of $100, and when she said the whole lot, I was speechless and had a bit of a cry, and it was just amazing.
There is really some special people in this world, isn't there?
It sure is.
All up, 47 lay-bys were taken care of. But this kind stranger wasn't the only one.
We actually had a young guy in his 20s come in and donate $600, and we had a great grandma on Friday give us $250.
Toy World has been popular with Secret Santas. One in Bunbury, WA, paid off more than 12 grand of lay-bys. And at a Kmart in Melbourne, a similar story last month.
I think that is just amazing.
Oh my goodness, I can't think. Is there someone I can thank?
She wants to remain anonymous, but I will pass on your thanks to her.
Making a tough year for some end on a high. Blake Johnson, 7 News.
A quick check of sport now. Nathan Lyon has joined Rare Cricketing Company, taking his 500th Test wicket in Australia's 360-run thumping of Pakistan in the first Test. Lyon became just the 8th player to reach the milestone and just the 3rd Australian after McGrath and Warne. Captain Pat backs Lyon to join Warney in the 700 club.
Something I'm very proud about. I don't think it's probably hit me yet. Yeah, it's pretty special to be able to take 500s in my first Test back.
I still think you've got, say, 40, 50 Test matches. That's 4 or 5 years, 10 a year. Probably average, 4 a game? It's another couple hundred, 700.
Mitch Marsh won Player of the Match in his home Test with a 90 and undefeated 63. Australia's next match is the Boxing Day clash at the G. Sam Kerr's Chelsea have regained the #1 spot on the Women's Super League table with a 3-0 victory over Bristol City. Kerr sealed the game with the 3rd goal as Chelsea are on track to become champions for the 5th year running.
Kerr's header, there is the 3rd. The captain extends Chelsea's advantage.
Mary Fowler was subbed on in Man City's 4-1 victory against Everton. They are now in equal second with Ford and Catley's Arsenal, who lost to Tottenham 1-0. Checking Monday's weather now, a possible shower in Brisbane, heading for a top of 32 degrees. Partly cloudy, 29 the top in Sydney. Partly cloudy as well in Canberra, heading for 29. Partly cloudy in Melbourne, 30 degrees. Showers increasing in Hobart, a top of just 21. A shower or two developing in Adelaide today, 28 degrees the top. Sunny and 32 in Perth, and mostly sunny, 36 degrees in Darwin. The stories we're following on the early news. Far North Queensland is facing its worst flooding event in over 100 years as towns are inundated with record rainfall in the wake of Cyclone Jasper. Drivers are being urged to stay vigilant this holiday season after 10 people were killed on New South Wales roads this weekend. A desperate scramble for aid at the Rafah crossing as hunger levels grow across the Gaza Strip amid Israeli attacks. And Nathan Lyon joins a rare club, becoming only the 8th player to score 500 wickets in Test cricket as the Aussies win on day 4 of their first Test against Pakistan. Thousands of shoppers were forced to evacuate after fire broke out in a food court at Penrith Westfield in Sydney's west, shrouding the centre in smoke.
Oh my God! Something's on fire. Oh no.
It's understood the fire happened at the eatery Noodle Time after a wok caught alight. One worker suffered smoke inhalation but was not seriously hurt. Doctors are warning parents they're risking possible prosecution to ensure a good night's sleep. The AMA is worried an increasing number of tired parents are bypassing Australian drug regulations to shop online for melatonin-laced gummy bears for their kids. They say there are other options to try before turning to medication that might not be correctly dosed. The use of melatonin is approved in Australia for children, but only with a prescription. A Melbourne councillor says he's now receiving death threats after being egged by a parent during a council meeting. Jim McGee received medical treatment to remove eggshell from his eye. It follows a decision by Glen Eira Council to close 3 council-run childcare centres in Melbourne's southeast. The decision is under protest by parents who say that they're at breaking point. It's usually a time filled with joy, but many families across Australia are facing a Christmas in hospital. One charity is helping those who need urgent healthcare the most, all thanks to the kindness of volunteers on the ground and in the air.
Taking flight.
Goodbye.
Miles is embarking on a journey that has been done many times before. The 22-month-old was born with a lymphatic malformation, swelling from cysts. His family lives in Glen Innes in northern New South Wales.
There is next to no doctors or anything there.
Charity airline Little Wings has helped with transport from the hangar to the hospital.
It means everything. It makes everything so much easier.
The organisation is 90% volunteer-led, with pilots and drivers working every day of the year. Wayne Cotterill has completed 500 flights. He says every single one is special.
To help people and use my skills as a pilot to get them to and from home to the city where they need to be for their medical treatment.
In the space of 10 years, Little Wings has increased the number of weekly flights from 12 to 70. It plans to expand across the country so many more communities can access this much-needed service.
These incredible people donate their time because they want to give back. They want to use their skills and their time to make a difference.
Angelique Opie, 7 News.
A downed Russian drone has killed one person after hitting a residential neighbourhood in Ukraine's Odessa region. The debris from the drone set fire to several homes and a sports warehouse. It's the 3rd Russian drone attack in the region in a week. Ukraine's air defence systems destroyed 9 incoming attack drones and a cruise missile. It's the 3rd Russian drone attack in the region in a week. Pope Francis has celebrated his 87th birthday. The pontiff marked his special day by spending time with children from a Vatican-run paediatric clinic. They even helped him blow out a single candle on his birthday cake. The Pope was soon surrounded by young well-wishers, receiving several birthday hugs. The saying one's trash is another's treasure certainly rings true for the woman in this next story. She picked up a quirky-looking vase for just under $6 at a charity shop in the US. Doing a little research online, she then found out that it was a 1940s original by Venetian architect Carlo Scarpa, and when it went to auction, it fetched almost $160,000. No word yet on how she plans to spend the money.